Hi, Tari.
Hi Claire, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good, good. How's it been? How has it been going? This side, it's so cold. And what's on the streets this week?
Hey, my buy now, pay later. Tari, go and buy your blanket and pay later. Kutonoruachi.
Hmm? Oh, I heard
So,
that story of Klana, and I see many people they are busy talking about Klana and all that. Then I was for me, I was like, are they really financially struggling, or what's happening there?
so word on the street, and people are saying, oh, people haven't been paying, so they're going bankrupt and things like that. So the excitement that is in the streets, Anchi, is mostly coming from people who could not make the mark because you just don't wake up and be approved on Klana. So the people who were not approved on Klana are saying, "Oh, look at you, Klana! You should have approved me. You wouldn't have gone bankrupt because I would have
The
paid you."
haters.
It's the haters that have a lot to say, yeah. But I feel like Klana is one of those. If I want a blanket and it costs $90 or it costs £90, it costs 900 rands because I can split it into three and I can afford that 30 right now, the third that I can afford now. I feel like it's making people feel like they can afford anything and everything whenever,
Mm,
you know. Uh,
mm.
it's good, but it's not good. Now you
Yeah,
don't, yeah,
mm,
we're not planning our purchases. I prefer the good old hire purchase where you pay and then you collect after you what you maybe
mm.
put on labor whatever you pay and then you get whatever you've bought later. But this, I want it now, I can buy it now and someone
Yeah.
else pays for me
Mm.
and then I pay them back. It Harry.
For me, when I was actually reading through about it, I think it kind of promotes consumerism where people will just get into this spending habit without really looking at our affordability status. Like, can I really afford this? And also, what's the catch with this? How is Klarna making money? Is it really zero interest free, or there
So
are other charges which are there which people we don't really factor in? That $90 won't end up being $90 only.
if you miss a payment, then you will know Klana is not your friend. So
Okay.
the people who have missed payments are the people who supposedly have put Klana into trouble. But that's not what happened actually. So Klana had a plan to go public in March. But you know
Or
what's
the
been
info
happening with
registration, yeah.
with the global tensions, with Trump saying this and that and things like that. They had to pause those plans. So obviously, that impacts your shareholding. Yeah, your shares take a hit when those happen, those things happen, and there's nothing
Mm.
that they can do about it. And
Yes.
also, they had this huge shift where they replaced majority of their customer service roles with AI. So I'm
Wow.
not saying that AI is bad, but AI cannot replace the human touch. So you can
Mm.
use AI in your business, but you can't wipe out 700 people and replace them with AI. That human touch is sort of like lost in translation. And uh, they need that return of that human connection, right?
Mm, mm,
So that also shook them a bit. And also the defaults, the customer, the number of people who are defaulting and the heavy losses, and just generally that pressure to have them regulate themselves, because non-payment with Klarna impacts your credit score whilst they don't have rigorous checks before they give you that line of credit.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
so
with
there's that.
AI, can it be able to do that? Can it
We
like
need
do
human touch.
check or not? Or maybe it was now just approving people
I
and
think I think if you answer the right questions, the AI will approve you. You know those type of things. So there is that, Tari. There is that. So it's not in as much trouble as people are claiming that it is in. I don't think it's going bankrupt. It still has enough cash reserves to stay afloat. It's just sensationalized. Whatever the troubles they're having, they just sensationalized. They're not going anywhere. They're
in
going to stay.
bankrupt.
So go and get that blanket.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, just looking into it, I think it's just more like their strategy planning. They didn't really like foresee or maybe do a scenario analysis just to see, okay, us replacing humans with AI is it sustainable? I think that's where they
It's
only like
required, yeah.
sustainability of it. Yes, AI is good, but is it sustainable for the type of business they are in?
So now that they've retrenched a lot of people, a lot of people are now
Mm.
job hunting. People
Mm.
have no jobs. So if I'm retrenched from Klana in South Africa, if I'm retrenched from Klana wherever, and I'm going on a cruise ship, the next thing,
And the cruise ship and the stories which I ate with those cruise ships, people they're like, okay, I'm going to work on the cruise ship, and if it lands in Canada, then
I'm
I
out.
just disappear there in Canada and be an asylum seeker.
Yeah,
But
one of these companies had a press statement that they said Zimbabweans in particular are no longer allowed to get off at some ports.
wow, most people are disappearing.
People are disappearing. I think it's that bad at home. They are.
Eh,
Are
for
they?
me, Clay, you know what? I think anywhere else, I can go and struggle. Nganotambura hangu wherever than in Zimbabwe.
But
Anywhere else
Mbinga
is green
Zimbabwe,
pastures.
Tari. Mbinga Zimbabwe. Are we not Mbingas in Zimbabwe?
But how many like if you look at the equation of it, like how many biggest versus people who are suffering, I feel like if someone can get that money to just get a job on the cruise ship, I just go and wherever I land, I'll just go in that country and be a refugee seeker. It's better than being home. I think that's the mindset which many are having, to be honest, because things are not okay. Imagine graduates being a vendor, like
Yeah.
selling fruits in the streets. Like
It's
honestly,
it's sad. It's really sad. But things are changing as well in terms of where you're going. First world country, they're employing this AI as well, yeah? And it's
Mhm.
not easy to just be an asylum seeker, especially if things are okay in your country. Um, it's not easy getting those under the table jobs that pay you cash in hand. It's not
Yes.
easy at all. So I'm not sure if they're being oversold this whole where and then you see what to do when you get here.
But what I've experienced firsthand, if you tell someone like things are not okay yet, especially if you don't have papers, like that's the same scenario in South Africa. If you tell someone, but someone sent you a message like, "Can you help me to look for a job?" They'll be like, "Hey, things are not okay in South Africa if you don't have papers." They'll be like, "No, just let me come." Like I really should That's the mentality. How are you managing it there?
Ranzi, if it's that bad, why are you not coming back?
Where is today? But forgetting, like I've been here for a long time. I've got papers now, and I've also managed to secure a proper job. So it's easier for me to navigate the things because I now have papers. Unlike you come in for the first time, you don't have the papers. You're seeking refugee, and like things are changing. Like things are no longer like back then, like where you just come and you get your ID or whatever, then you get a job. Things are no longer the same way. So I think that's the thing where people like they feel like maybe you want to block you want to block them. And tishona we say kuti vari kubatsira hama vanhu vari ku-UK havadi kubatsira hama vanodada.
Dada. But tiri kudzoka kumba. We're coming back. Some of us have packed up and they're coming back, Tari. And people are doing
I
well.
think some are really doing well in farming, where they are buying massive deals and did you see how booming the Airbnb business is doing? I was seeing these
Exactly.
houses when this guy made this. I'm forgetting the name of this guy, but he made this like a nice Airbnb thing in the mind. I was like, whoa, this is like really nice and huge investment kind of.
So whilst others are going on ships and then absconding, others are packing up and then they're coming back home. Tari, what's happening? Is it okay? Are things going well in the diaspora? Are things going well in Zimbabwe? What is happening? Like the things that are happening on the ground are not showing us a true representation of what exactly is happening on both sides. Like after I
Others are leaving, others are coming back. And as we are talking on that one of others coming back, there's this clip which was circulating on the social media streets, which really got my heart broken yesterday. I'm not sure which country is it, but I was just thinking maybe it's someone who came maybe from the diaspora and then they were like, you know what, I now want to go back because I've been here for 20 years, 30 years or so. But now let me just take all my investments, all my savings and go and start my chicken business.
oh
And
that
you
one.
wake up and you wake up, all the chickens are dead.
I
That was
saw
so heartbreaking.
I saw it. I saw the video, and the background sound is someone crying. And you're thinking,
So sad.
imagine you have been in the UK, you've been in South Africa for so long, you're tired of being a foreigner, You sell whatever you have and you buy your suburb land and you invest in your 10,000 chickens and you get yourself a deal. Maybe you're now going to supply chicken slice or you're going to supply some boarding school that needs chickens regularly and things like that. And then you wake up to that. I don't know what happened.
That's so heartbreaking. And with me, I was like, you know what? Hey, this life, no balance for sure. No
Oh,
balance. You'll be like, now, you'll be so excited, like investing all the money in those in those foul runs and investing all those cheap and investing in all that. Because I think that was more than 10,000. There was a lot of it.
that was horrible. That was definitely horrible, Tari. I can't even begin to think how those people are feeling, how the owner of the farm is feeling, and you have employees because that's a very big foreign.
Yes, you have
You have
employees here.
employees, you have a family to feed, you have a contract to fulfill.
Maybe you've been paid half down already, 50%, like we want you to supply us. But when I saw that video, the first thing which came to my mind was like, you know what? I think maybe an insurance could have helped
Oh
if
yeah,
everybody had.
and also you know what, trying to look for the tiniest bit of hope. If you find a crocodile farmer, if there is one close by, you can go and sell
Value
them.
addition instead of like throwing all of them away. Yeah.
Little thing and maybe pet food, but then some pets are quite sensitive to meat that's because
But
we don't know
what
what
you're saying,
exactly
like
happened.
crocodile farmers, like
Yeah,
I think even pigs,
crocodiles are quite
don't pigs eat
resistant to a
meat?
lot of diseases, so it's okay.
Mm.
But if you're in Harare and the crocodile farm is in Kariba or the crocodile farm is in Victoria Falls,
I'm sure there you might still get a loss, but I think whatever loss you can get, at least it can help you to
it's
start to start all over again. Because now, like you're already like limping. At least if whatever amount you get, it's not gonna like cover all the costs, but it will help you to jumpstart yourself again instead of just falling into depression. Because I'm sure you really go down into depression there.
imagine Tari ndinenge ndakuudza kuti zvehuku hazviite siya and then you're like no.
Maybe she know it.
that's you, Claire. Hazviite kwenyu, kwangu it will work, and then
It
this
will work.
happens.
And also with thinking with that one, I was like, you know what, in as much as you want businesses, but I think diversification is very important. Instead of putting all our eggs in one basket, like instead of like putting all the investments in the fowl run, buying the chickens, maybe having a balanced eggs.
Tangani 100.
Taka 100, kana dzaita tokuita 200. Not now, but now what you see our problem as well as people is that sometimes we just want to start big. We
Yeah.
don't want to start like with crawling like as a child, like baby steps. Let's have
But
the
you'll
baby
be coming
steps,
from the diaspora, Nditi. You'll be coming from the
and the man will
diaspora,
be
and
there.
you have the money. You have the savings, so you're thinking, I have the savings, so why not go big? Because most people are going small because they don't have the funds. That's I'm sure that's the
That's
person's
the thinking.
mindset to say, you know what, I'm starting small. Because most people start small because they don't have funds.
That's
What
the fun.
lesson that they miss is if you start small, you grow with your business.
Plus, you also learn. You
You
learn from your
learn
mistakes.
on
Like,
the job.
oh, mm,
You don't hear things from people. You don't learn from books because that's a different beast altogether. Being hands-on and working on the job compared to just getting training. It could be 1 day or 2 day training that tells you about the lifespan of your chickens, and that's crammed into 2 days. You can't learn it all. You can't grasp it all. So you definitely need that. Um,
me.
yeah, that on the job training.
True. True. And I think linking back to Planner's story, I think also is the importance of strategy planning, just to sit down and look at all the scenarios. If something goes bad, but okay, we don't want to look on the positive side. But just also look on that side, like if something goes bad, what is it?
Techniques.
Are
Yeah.
you planned for it? But anyway, our time is almost getting
Ah,
over. And
it was nice
guys,
catching up with you, Tari.
yes, let's look for our more stories for next week.
Okay, dokie. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.